Hey everyone, it's been a while, but welcome back to the brand new HGA. Now, as a lifelong gamer, I play all kinds of games, from one-on-one fighting games to epic RPGs. But the ones that really pull me in are the ones that have a good story, a fascinating world, and well-developed characters, the ones that really elicit an emotional response. So what is it about Overwatch, a competitive multiplayer first-person shooter, that's had me so captivated for the last 2 years? Let's find out.
I want you to open your hearts and your minds to what comes next. You are about to get a glimpse into the future.
When Blizzard Entertainment, one of the most successful game developers of all time, revealed the very first trailer for their new game Overwatch in 2014, who would have known that this Pixar-esque, action-packed cinematic full of instantly lovable characters and lots of heart would become one of the most popular video games of all time? Well, apparently Blizzard knew, as their entire focus on developing Overwatch was born from the collapse of their long-awaited RPG project, Titan, and their optimistic approach to use some of those assets and create a new game with mass appeal that both casual and hardcore gamers would fall completely in love with. And that's exactly what happened. After just that initial trailer, before anyone had even played the game, Overwatch fandom started spreading like wildfire. Communities sprouted up all over the internet with Overwatch fan art, cosplay, memes. In fact, there was so much content being created by fans that Blizzard released an official Overwatch Heroes reference guide before the game was even released. Almost 10 million people took part in the open beta alone, and on May 24, 2016, Overwatch was released on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and the world of competitive gaming was forever changed.
Are you with me?
The Overwatch model of gameplay came from the never-ending popularity of the first-person shooter genre, most specifically class-based team shooters like Team Fortress 2, and the rising popularity of MOBAs like League of Legends, both of which highly encourage teamwork in order to complete your goals. And Overwatch achieves that level of encouragement by making all aspects of its gameplay easily accessible by gamers of all skill levels. Heroes are sorted into 4 different classes, each with different strengths and weaknesses. Players battle each other in teams of 6 on randomly chosen maps, with objectives to attack or defend control points, move a payload from point A to point B, or hold control over an area for a certain amount of time. Players gain experience for every game they play and earn loot boxes for every level gained, giving you new costumes, items, and animations to customize your heroes into your own personalized avatars. Balancing your team with heroes from each class easily gives you an advantage, but knowing how to play your role and work together as a team will lead to victory. Despite being a competitive online-only shooter, which are basically glorified digital versions of laser tag and generally have little to no plot or character development, Overwatch not only defies this trope, but completely destroys it by having the incredibly deep and evolving lore that Blizzard games are known for, while also sporting some of the most interesting and lovable characters I've ever seen in a game of its type.
Are you certain the target is on sight?
Most of the story plays out through additional companion pieces that are completely optional, but they're so important to the success of Overwatch that they absolutely deserve to be called a part of the game altogether. Through short cinematic features, digital comic books, and in-game events, Overwatch's backstory crafts an epic tale of outcast heroes trying to make a difference in a world that's forsaken them. Set in a fictionalized version of Earth in the late 21st century, robotics manufacturing had become the pinnacle of economic growth. Throughout a golden age of progressive technology development, humanized androids called Omnics were created in self-regulating factories known as Omniums, with the most advanced artificial intelligence ever produced, evolving so far as to have developed their own free will that some Omnics even referred to as a soul. After a series of investigations uncovered evidence of massive corporate fraud by the Omnica Corporation, the Omniums were shut down by the UN and dismantled. But having become self-aware themselves, the Omniums revolted, creating armies of militarized, battle-ready Omnics to destroy their corrupt human creators, and a new world war began, known as the Omnic Crisis. As violence and destruction ravaged away at the Earth and humanity itself, Overwatch, an elite international task force made up of soldiers, scientists, Adventurers, and Oddities, was formed by the UN to neutralize the Omnic threat. This new band of heroes was led by two military-enhanced super soldiers, Gabriel Reyes and Jack Morrison. While Reyes had been given leadership command of Overwatch, Morrison's ability to motivate and unify the team into a cohesive fighting force tipped the balance of power, and at the end of the war, he was awarded the position of Strike Commander, the first commanding officer of Overwatch, denying leadership to Reyes, who was in turn made commander of Covert Ops Unit Blackwatch. This caused tension between the two friends, and Overwatch would soon suffer the consequences. With the war ended, the members of Overwatch were hailed as heroes to the entire world, and peace and prosperity reigned for almost 30 years. Equality between humans and Omnics had become commonplace in what was known as the Overwatch generation, and Overwatch kept a strong hold over maintaining it. But deeper in the shadows, Blackwatch stayed busy hunting down terrorist organizations such as Talon and the Shimada Ninja Clan, and performed much shadier, more controversial forms of justice. With rumors swirling about Overwatch interference in world affairs, the UN launched a top-secret investigation into their activities, resulting in the Petrus Act, which deemed any and all Overwatch interference illegal and subject to prosecution. After the events of the King's Row uprising, Reyes ordered a coup against Morrison at Overwatch headquarters in Switzerland, and in a climactic battle between the two, the building was completely decimated, leaving both Morrison and Reyes reportedly killed in action. Overwatch was formally disbanded, and its remaining agents went into hiding across the globe. In present day, as the world collapses deeper into another possibly catastrophic war, former Overwatch scientist Winston ponders recalling Overwatch agents to active duty when he's attacked by Talon soldiers led by a shadowy figure. Reaper, whose identity is actually that of Gabriel Reyes himself, attempts to steal the agent database and destroy Overwatch once and for all. Winston defeats Reaper and recalls Overwatch agents to active duty. His longtime friend Tracer is the first to respond, and together they investigate Talon's activities, thwarting their first attempt at stealing Doomfist's gauntlet from an Overwatch exhibit in Numbani. With the United Nations condemning their actions and the majority of the public uncertain about what the future holds if Overwatch returns, Winston and Tracer continue their pursuit of Talon and their mission to restore Overwatch to save the world. 27 heroes make up the current roster of Overwatch, and every single one of them plays completely differently in a way that fits their narrative, not just their class. Strike Commander Jack Morrison makes his return as Soldier 76, your basic Call of Duty style run and gunner with a heavy pulse rifle, helix rockets, and a biotic field for healing.
Get over here and heal up.
Genji, another offense hero, can throw shurikens both straight ahead or spread out, climb walls, deflect bullets, and slash his enemies to bits with a katana. But that doesn't in any way make him a better character, he just plays with a different offensive style. In fact, the game is constantly being balanced and rebalanced to assure that players always have a fair advantage no matter which hero they choose to play. And that's another great thing about the heroes. They're all fun to play. A healer like Mercy can boost her allies' health and damage output, keeping a tight team strong and alive. Whereas a heavy tank like D.Va can boost right into the middle of battle, aggressively tearing apart enemies with never-ending fire, bail out of her mecha when she takes too much damage, and blast away at her foes with a pistol on foot until her ride can respawn. You can freeze enemies in place with Mei's endothermic blaster, or rain down rockets from the sky with Pharah and her jump jets. With so many heroes to choose from, you have plenty of options to suit your own playstyle and achieve your objectives. But just being fun to play doesn't even begin to describe the allure of Overwatch's diverse cast of characters. Just as the plot itself is deep and engaging, the heroes' backstories are presented in ways that not many first-person games have done before. Periodically, Blizzard releases new cinematic short stories, pushing the plot forward and revealing new details about the characters, as well as digital comics that delve even deeper into their pasts. Just by playing the game, we know that Widowmaker is a focused and unemotional sniper, but by delving into other media, we learned that she was a famous ballet dancer named Amélie Lacroix, who was married to a powerful Overwatch agent and kidnapped by Talon, who brainwashed her into killing her own husband, becoming the cold, emotionless killer that she is today. Tracer can manipulate herself through time and space, but it's only because Winston stabilized her uncontrollable time jumping with a chronal accelerator, an act that really strengthened their friendship and loyalty to each other. And as much as these stories flesh out the characters, facets of their personalities are accentuated even more by the sheer amount of detail that Blizzard has put into the animations and voiceovers of every single one. Each hero is rife with fluid animations, emotes, voice lines, highlight intros, skins, and spray tags that display their personalities on center stage and make almost every interaction feel like something that actually has meaning and purpose behind it. Criminal Explosives fanatic Junkrat hobbles around on a peg leg. The fact that his running animation expresses his limp even in first person gives you a sense of the kind of chaotic person he is. When the highly energetic, world-famous musician Lucio crossfades the tunes blasting from his sonic amplifier, his vivacious energy shows that he's not just helping his group with the task at hand, but he's having an absolute blast doing it. The lively animations and attention to detail make every character feel like an actual person, and not just a hand on a trigger. Overall, the heroes in Overwatch are extremely well developed, and their lovable personalities and intriguing histories make them the kinds of characters that you don't just enjoy playing, but can really feel a connection to. Of course, Overwatch's eye-pleasing visual style is also to thank for its massive success. The design of its world is vibrant and beautiful, with most environments feeling lush and full of life, representing a post-war world where the outcome of prosperity and love shines as an inspiration. Places like the Greek island of Ilios and the Japanese temple of Hanamura are bright and colorful, feeling more like tourist attractions than devastating battle zones. Taking notes from its predecessor, Team Fortress 2, all of the characters animate in an overly expressive, cartoonish style that evokes feelings of a Pixar film. Whether you're hacking your enemies and reloading your weapons, or dancing the Charleston on Route 66, the fluid animations make every hero feel alive and energetic, with their personalities shining through in everything they do. But Overwatch's visuals wouldn't be the same without sound to accompany them, and the audio in the game is amazing to behold. An appropriately heroic original score accompanies every battle, and the way the music dynamically transitions with your wins and losses keeps the energy high and exciting. With an internationally diverse cast of characters, voice acting is stellar across the board, and most characters speak lines in both English and in their native tongues. Sound effects are incredibly well done, and positional audio can play a huge part in your victory or defeat. In fact, Overwatch is the first video game ever to feature Dolby Atmos, and the audio is so well balanced that with a nice surround sound system or headphones, you can literally hear wherever your enemies and allies are attacking from all around your living room. From weapons fire and explosive damage, to teleportation, and even just simple footsteps, Overwatch's incredible audio mix lets the player know exactly what, where, and when something is happening without even having to see it on screen. So with beautiful graphics, deep and accessible gameplay, and a captivating story to tie it all together, where does Overwatch go from here? Well, the game is constantly evolving with new characters, maps, battle modes, and balance patches to keep everything running smoothly, all at no additional cost to players. Major events with unique limited-time loot boxes and exclusive modes take place in the game every few months, coinciding with real-world events like the 2016 Summer Olympics, Halloween, Christmas, the Chinese Lunar New Year, and the one-year anniversary of Overwatch's release. A non-real-world event called Uprising took players 7 years into the past with a new cooperative story mode where 4 players work together to battle an onslaught of Omnics at King's Row in Tracer's first official mission as an agent of Overwatch. Uprising's immense popularity with fans made certain that more story-based events will be coming in the future, while real-world events continue to coincide with holidays and other worldwide celebrations. And speaking of fans, if you thought Overwatch captivated people before its release, the game now has over 30 million players, and the fans are loving it. Overwatch cosplayers are dominating every convention. Fan art pages are massively popular on sites like DeviantArt and Instagram, and you can find Overwatch merchandise in nearly every pop culture shop in town. In fact, fans themselves have had such a huge impact on the development of Overwatch that Doomfist himself is a rare example of their power, as the name was originally just a MacGuffin to fit a villain into the 2014 reveal, with intentions to develop him as an actual character some way down the road. Players were so intrigued by the concept of Doomfist alone that the developers forced him into production and created a character that adds major conflict to the story. If Blizzard's intention truly was to bring Overwatch into the mainstream popularity market, they've definitely succeeded. In fact, Blizzard also intends to dominate the world of esports with Overwatch League, a franchised professional sports organization with the intention of making Overwatch the biggest esport in the world. Players can try out at a combine and are scouted by team owners, and rather than taking only promotional sponsorships, team members will be completely contracted, receiving full salaries and benefits just as they would in any other major sports league. Teams will compete in yearly seasons culminating in a World Series event, where winning teams are expected to take home a 7-figure grand prize each season. And all of these things have happened in less than 2 years since Overwatch's release, and with Blizzard's track record of long-running online games, we know for certain that content is going to continue to flow from the source for years to come. I never would have guessed that I'd become completely infatuated with a competitive multiplayer first-person shooter, but Overwatch completely drew me in like no other game of its type has done before. Its lovable characters and fantastically designed world are a breath of fresh air in a genre that's generally clouded with smoke and debris. The accessibility that it offers to newcomers, combined with the depth and challenge it brings to veterans, provide a gaming experience that's incredibly fun and exciting, whether you're playing a few matches with your friends or challenging the pros for hours a day. The graphics and animation are gorgeously delicious eye candy, and the gaming community is generally non-toxic, with an in-game message of positivity fueling its players. Regardless of your preference for Call of Duty or Final Fantasy, I highly recommend giving Overwatch a shot, because, well, after all,
The world could always use more heroes.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, let me know in the comments below and hit that big red subscribe button to stay notified for future videos. I'm already working on my next episode talking about the recently completed Life is Strange prequel, so if you haven't seen my original Life is Strange review, be sure to check that one out as well. Until next time, happy gaming.